Hey everyone, welcome to my channel guys, and in this video I will be deep diving into the world of Malayali from India, which has been directed by DJ Jose Anthony. And if you have seen the reactions of any of the promo material from this film pre its release, you already knew how excited I was to watch this film. And while this film had all the right intentions, for me particularly it failed in its execution. So let's take a deep dive into this film. Malayali from India invites us into the vibrant world of our protagonist Gopi, portrayed by the very versatile Niveen Pauly, and it navigates the intertwining threads of friendship, love, and societal conflict. From the outset itself, it is very evident that the movie has extremely different ambitions which go far beyond entertainment. The movie seeks to engage with pressing political issues and social issues, which is obviously a very commendable thing to do. Because I feel that Dijo is that one director who is unapologetically in your face, especially when it comes to things like questioning the government, questioning the system, and raising such issues. Which is why after the teaser had released and there was a completely different spin to it, and I realized that no, this movie is much darker than what we have thought, I was even more excited to watch it. But as we delve deeper into the narrative, you can just see that there are cracks occurring everywhere. Throughout the narrative, the movie shifts between comedy and drama, and there's no issue with that particularly because a director can choose his or her own style of execution. But in this particular movie, the shift is so abrupt that you kind of get a little confused with what emotions you should be portraying as an audience. Like, a scene would be damn serious, and I know that there would be immense consequences for this particular scene and this particular act, but suddenly the tone shifts into comedy. And I was thinking to myself, excuse me, what? I think maybe Dijo had a different kind of transition in mind, but it did not really translate to the screen because maybe the intent was to deliver a serious topic through sarcasm. Like, satires exist for this very reason, right? Where a lot of pressing issues are actually presented in a logical and comical way. Nathan Case Kodu is literally one of the best examples that I can give right now, where the system was questioned, but the theme and the pitch of the film does not falter anywhere. And this is precisely where I felt a mixed bag of emotions while watching Malayali from India. Another shortcoming that I felt this movie had was that it just took too much on its plate. Either I would have loved to see a complete political satire where the protagonist is fed misinformation and he acts accordingly. And then through his journey, he understands the loopholes of the system and how people actually get manipulated. Whether it's through politicians, whether it's through social media, whether it's through the news media outlets themselves, I would have loved to see the protagonist Gopi's journey through all of this. And then actually come to the realization that no, as a citizen, we need to question everything because it is our right in a democratic country. And then he realizes that the system is kind of manufactured in such a way that will make our opinions polarizing, and we as citizens need to rise above that. Like, that itself would have made such a great story, and to deliver that through comedy and satire would have been just so perfect. But that political commentary restricts itself only in the first half, and the second half completely becomes a different story. We get an enemies to best friends arc which really doesn't do much to whatever context was set in the first half. It just loosely ties it. So if I look at the second half independently, this could have been a great story and a journey of a protagonist who has a perception about the people of a particular country, in this case obviously Pakistan, and then he meets a Pakistani, and then there is this whole growth arc that Gopi goes through. That is a great independent story in itself. But Malayali from India tries to do everything packed in one film, and it falters exactly there. Dijo's previous film Jana Gana Mana also had similar settings where the first half and the second half were completely different, but the way he actually tied up the entire narrative in the end made sense, except the ending where I thought, okay, that completely went into a different tangent, but it's okay, I can still forgive that. Here honestly, I could just see the intent. I can see the intent with which the movie was actually getting made and the messaging that it was trying to convey of brotherhood and sort of fact-checking everything and not create blind perceptions. I get all of that, but I feel none of it. The kind of emotions, the strong emotions I felt while watching Jana Gana Mana, there was None of that here. Also, there are a lot of parallels which are pretty much obvious in the film, and maybe the intention was that because the second half seems like the lighter version of Adu Jeevitam. It kind of gives you a different perspective on the whole situation, is that when you have company, how you sort of spend that time, and then you had the angle of COVID also involved in that. So as an independent sequence, I really liked it. And then in the end, obviously, when he actually travels to Pakistan, I mean, you cannot help but think of Bajrangi Bhaijaan. So yeah, I can think of like a lot of individual sequences which I liked, but in the context of the whole film, is just way too scattered for me. Also, I did not really see the point of the love story between Gopi and Krishna. The Anaswara was completely wasted in this film. Then the friendship between Dhyan and Naveen, in parts I enjoyed it, but in certain parts, oh my god, it was unbearable, and it was because of Dhyan. And imagine in my Varshan Galigas Shesham review, I said that Dhyan was just so exceptionally well. I liked him more than Pranav in the film, but here there was certain moments where he was just overdoing it. And for a film that has so much comedy into it, and considering that I went into the film on the release of its weekend, so the theater was quite jam-packed, and to not get enough responses in those scenes, and it made me think of Avesham, like when I had watched Avesham, and that the theater was laughing throughout and hooting throughout. So you kind of understand that, you know, when the jokes don't land, you know it, because sometimes it happens that when you're reading through subtitles, maybe the wording is incorrect. But yeah, it was pretty obvious that in parts it was good, but in certain parts it was just not giving that vibe. But the film definitely has its own merits. Like in parts, I felt that there are certain sequences which really elevated the film and did hold my attention. The BGM did a lot of work in this film. Believe me, if the BGM wasn't there, the half of the emotions that I felt, I wouldn't have felt it. So Jakes Bijoy really pulled in his bit in actually making the film what it is at this moment. Sudeep Elamon's cinematography is also worthy of praise because the movie visually looks very stunning. So from a technical standpoint, the movie never falters for me, and this goes for most of the Malayalam films that I watch, because the technical teams that they have and the kind of skill that they have is just unbelievably good. So it's in very rare cases that have felt that, oh, in the technical department, be it color grading, editing, camera work, you know, sound design and all of that, that the movie is not really, you know, living up to its potential. Most of the time they hit the bullseye, and this movie is no different. It's mostly the script and the screenplay this time for me that doesn't work, because even if I talk about the climax, it feels very rushed, and it just seemed like, okay, they're just trying to, you know, tie up all the loose ends quickly. This movie could have really been a thought-provoking watch to give us that perspective and mirror that, you know, look how the entire system is just, you know, hell-bent on manipulating the regular public. But because it takes too much upon itself, it just fails in actually giving that message. So instead of becoming something as epic as Jana Gana Mana, which would honestly be remembered for many years, this is just a one-time watch. And I feel it's just so unfair to an actor like Naveen, who has so much potential, and he actually gave a lot to this role. I can see the sincere effort, I can see the hard work, and after that amazing cameo that he did in Varshan Kalika Shesham, from that to again this, I feel bad for him. And I feel even worse for Dijo, because I love him. I love that he wants to, you know, make films that actually make our minds bend, make our minds think, but here it just doesn't come through. And I honestly wanted to feel all the emotions that I had felt while watching Jana Gana Mana. I went with that intent to the theater. So yeah, that was my review, guys. Those were my thoughts, and you guys let me know what are your thoughts. You know, I think at this point when I'm recording, I know it's a bit late, but I think this the script of the film is also kind of embroiled in some controversy, though I've not read it up like in detail. But if someone can let me know what is the actual issue with that, please do so in the comments. But also share your thoughts on this film, and what did you think after watching it. And yeah, that was my review, and I'm gonna sign off now from this video, and I will see you soon on my next one. Bye.